Today I'm going to take you along on my journey of constructing my first ever steampunk journal. This is a design team project for the Digital Collage Club. Welcome, this is Barbara from Vienna, Austria. When Tina from the Digital Collage Club asked me if I would like to do something with a steampunk theme, I was very grateful because this theme has fascinated me for a long time, but I never felt like I would be able to do it justice as I have so much respect for this genre. It's just epic in my eyes. So this was the perfect challenge for me. Many of us know this genre from popular movies like Wild Wild West, Van Helsing, or Hugo. And there are, of course, many others. But if you would ask me to define steampunk, I would not have been able to give you an accurate answer. So I started this project with a little research. Much has been written about this genre, and here are some of the things I found that helped me understand better what I was getting myself into. So what actually is steampunk? It's futuristic yet retro at the same time. It blends the aesthetic and technology of the 19th century with elements of science fiction. It takes place in an alternate reality where technological progress is based on the steam engine rather than electricity. The technology is just as advanced as in our modern world, but uses steam as its energy. And as a result, it takes a retro look reminiscent of the Industrial Revolution era. And this is a quote I really love reading: "Steampunk is a genre that imagines how different the past might have been had the future come earlier." This is by Douglas Featherling, a Canadian poet, novelist, and cultural commentator. So next I had a look at what elements are actually defined in the steampunk era. And of course we have the gears that we see everywhere. Then we also have the rivets. We have, of course, the clockwork. We have antique light bulbs. And of course we cannot forget the goggles and the top hats, as well as airborne transport-based technology. And then we come to the octopus, which represented the railroad companies with their sprawling networks similar to tentacles. These were seen as monsters attempting to take over the farmer's land. And then there's also things like metals, wood, glass, leather, and laboratory equipment. And this is not, of course, an exclusive list. There are other elements, but I decided I would concentrate on these. And lastly, it would of course be great if we could somehow incorporate the romance theme into this journal as well in a Victorian style. Alright, enough for the intro, I think. Let's get down to actually making a journal. And I thought as base papers I would use my Tim Holtz Ideology French Industrial papers, because I think that theme works really nicely with the steampunk theme. And although I did buy a couple of things, I didn't wanna buy everything for this journal. I wanted to use some things that I have. And as a binding method, I chose one that I don't usually do, but I thought this subject would actually be great to use a spiral binding for. So I'm going to be using my cinch that I've had probably around 2 years and hardly ever used. So I thought this was a perfect project. And if you wanna do a similar journal and you don't have the cinch, then you can use, for example, you could use rings like this. They have smaller ones, and I think you could get those locally at your craft store, or I'm sure Amazon has them. I'm not sure what they're called, but you know these kind of rings. Or you just use a regular binder for documents and you use rings. The reason why I'm not binding it the way I would usually bind it is because I wanted heavier pages, because I do want to add some metal elements as well, and I don't think it's a good idea to add heavier or chunkier elements on regular paper. So I'm trying to make it a little bit more sturdy, and those will be harder to fold. So, and I don't really like folded cardstock, like the thick cardstock. So that's why I thought the spiral solution would be a good one for this project. And for the size, I might do this size. This is a random size. And just so you know, because I know you're gonna wanna know. So it's about 8¼ inches tall, and it's 5 1/8 inches wide. I'm not even sure if I'm actually going to stick with this size. That's what I have in my mind at the moment. I don't want to make it huge. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to start picking papers here, and I don't even know that I'll have them all the same size, to be honest. I don't know what I'm gonna have for a cover yet. I'm really just trying to figure things out as I go along, and I'll come back when I have some papers picked out. I have cut them, so I have 17 pages that I have cut the same size. I have already inked them up with my vintage photo distress oxide on both sides, and I have also rounded all of the corners with my large corner rounder. And then I had 2 smaller pages which were square. They were like this one, and what I did is about 1/3 of it I creased it and folded it, and also rounded the corners on all 4 sides, and now I have these 2 smaller pieces to use as well. Maybe I will close them up to make tuck spots, maybe not, I don't know yet, so I'll keep these. And then let me show you the papers that I chose. So I almost used up all of my French industrial paper pad right now. I just have like, I think 2 full pages left, because I thought maybe I'm going to be making some embellishments or something where I would need those. And I of course have scraps left over. So let me just show you, and I think I already have them pretty much in the order I want. I might still switch it around. And so this is the wire I'm going to be binding the papers with on my cinch, and I'll show you that later. But basically, so this will go on the side here. I will cut it off here so I can adjust the size, which is great. And as you can see, currently the papers are all very masculine, but of course we said we want to try to add the romance element into it, which is really a huge challenge. And I went through my papers and I saw these that I still have from one of the Your Creative Studio subscription, the vintage monthly subscription box. I will link them down below as well. I will also link the papers for this below. So here you see I have 4 squares with this theme of the cogwheels. And this is a bird, and it has some cogwheels there as well, and a feather. So I want to incorporate these here. They have blank backsides, so obviously we don't want that. One solution would be to coffee dye them, but I don't really want to do that right now. And I wouldn't mind them being a little stronger, although these are more of a heavyweight paper. But what I thought was maybe I should look for some other paper pad that is more feminine, but that would maybe still work with the rest. So I will have a look at that. And then I also found, I have these butterflies which I've had definitely for over a year. I'm not sure, I did get them locally, but I'm not sure where I got them. Might have been Action, might have been another store. But I thought what would be fun would be somewhere in between not these small ones, but maybe these big ones would be really cool. And they are double-sided, as you can see. Wouldn't it be cool if we would cut them in half and then use like the wing as one of our inserts? I think that would be kind of fun. And of course, we wouldn't put it in like this. We would definitely try to somehow steampunk this up a little bit. This one is really cool already with these splatters, but of course also we would be steampunking this up. So I'm thinking these should go in somewhere. So let me see what papers I can find that I could back this with, and then I will show you what I came up with. Okay, so I have the 3. Now here, as you can see, the corners are already also rounded and they're all inked up, and the back sides are now, they look now like this. I decided to keep going with the butterfly motif that we have here. So 2 of these, actually this is upside down. 2 of these have the butterflies on it, and this one has more of a like Victorian rose kind of theme, which is good. And these are both from, of course, the other Tim Holtz paper stash that I have, which is the wallflower one, and I will also link this down below. And I have cut apart these 2 butterflies, so we have 4 wings. I don't know if I'm going to use all 4. I did not ink these up yet because I'm not sure yet how I'm going to treat those, so I will wait with that. So now I just need to find the right places for these 2 smaller pieces and these 3 and some of the butterflies. So this is how thick this whole thing is now. Of course, we don't have any ephemera, any pockets, anything in here yet. So I think this is pretty much as far as I want to go, because I also still need a cover on the front and the back. I don't know yet what I'm going to do for that, but I need to calculate that in. So given that these aren't huge and I need to still close them up, I will leave it at that. It is the next day, and having looked at this with fresh eyes, I decided that I want to actually get rid of some of the very masculine elements in here, and I want to make this more steampunk feminine. Even though I think these pictures are just perfect for a steampunk journal, but still I don't know. I wasn't feeling this so much. So I'm gonna take this one away, and I believe there are 2 others. Yep, I wanna get rid of this one. So this one I'm going to replace. I cut these out of Tim Holtz Wallflower paper stash, and this one I'm actually going to use as a cover, and we will do with that in a moment. And this one I think I want to use as the back cover, and this is the one I will put in here instead of the one that I just took out. And there's another one I want to take out, and I'm not even going to replace it because I actually think I probably have too many pages in here. It's this one here. So as I said, this one I want to use as my cover, and I want my cover to be a little bit more sturdy. So I already cut some cardboard. This is from a cover of a design paper pack, and it's thin cardboard. I didn't want it to be too bulky. So I already cut 2 of these, one for the back, one for the front. And I'm going to be backing this like this. And then, of course, we need something on the back side of the cover. And I printed this. This is a journal page from the Digital Collage Club. And I will link all the papers that I'm using for this journal. I will list down below in the description box. And I will actually show you right here. The Digital Collage Club is a membership-based website with thousands of royalty-free digital collage sheets, vintage graphics, scrapbooking, card making, and digital craft supplies. You get instant access and all images are created especially for this club. Each week, new images are added and you can sell whatever craft items you create with these images, and there are no download limits. You can get either an annual access or a lifetime access, and I think it's a really good deal because buying all the single digitals from Etsy or other online sites can become very pricey over the course of a year. So with the link and coupon codes below, you get a $5 discount for the annual membership and a $10 discount for the lifetime membership. And what you see here are some of the steampunk themed images. So we just search for steampunk and then we get all of these great kits that Tina has put together. They're so much fun. And these are some of the images also that I will be using in this journal. These I'm not sure about. I think they're very fun, but I'm not sure it will go with the style that I have chosen for this particular journal. These I love a lot. So there's several pages here. This is the bundle where I've used what I've used for the inside of my cover, the back and the front. A lot of dog and cat images if you're into that, but there's something for every kind of style, I think. There's different shapes, there's round ones, there's tiles, there's tags, large and small, and there's, here you see there's these mason jars. These tags are really cool as well. So this is what I'm going to back this with, but I'm not going to do that yet because I think I'm going to have some elements like brads that are going to be poked through. So I want to, even though it's such a shame to cover this beautiful paper up. Oh, I didn't think of that. This is just gorgeous, but it's too thin for a cover. Yeah, I want it to be thicker. Since I'm going to be poking things through and I don't want the backside showing, I will construct the cover first. I mean, I will embellish it first and then we will back it. And what I thought I was going to use, so there's this beautiful page with some awesome steampunk images. And I really love this lady right here, but she was too small for my cover. So I decided to enlarge her and I printed her larger. Now I think she's the perfect size for my cover. And to make it a little bit more steampunk, I have this die and I thought I would somehow put that like about so. And I think I'll actually have it straight. And I wanted it to have a title, so I took these Tim Holtz quote chips. So I have a pack of these, and I will link these below as well. And I think I'm gonna use the Dreamer of Dreams. I think that will work well. Of course, we're gonna have to do something with the color, and I might also because some of you had suggested when I used these last times that I could just take off the layers because these are really thick. So I could actually probably somehow take off the layers and make it thinner if I wanted to. But maybe for a title of a book, maybe it's good to have it thick like this. So, but I don't like the color. It needs to be more tan. So I will do that with Distress ink. Then I have these brads, which are perfect. So they are like our little rivets, so that's perfect. So I want to put one of these in each corner, and maybe I want to add some more elements. I definitely want to add some more gears and stuff. So I'm going to ink her up with my vintage photo as a first step. And I also, of course, have to ink this one up. Alright, so I've inked this up. By the way, this is 200 gram cardstock, beige cardstock. And so I want to put this underneath somehow like this. And I have also inked up this here with my vintage photo, but I do want it to stand out a little bit more. So what I want to do is I'm going to use my ground espresso distress stain and just go around the border. This is not as dark as I was hoping it would be, but I do like the way it looks. There you go. I also want to put some, this is a coffee dyed cheesecloth. I want to put that underneath. And then I have some more elements. For example, I still have this golden butterfly. So I thought maybe I could add the wing underneath somehow. If we cut this in half. What if we put it, because we do have this butterfly theme going on the inside, so I think it should have something symbolizing that on the outside as well to tie it all together. So something like this, but this needs to be grunged up a little bit. So I will try to sand this a little bit. I just have this block to sand, and let's see what happens if I sand that carefully. Okay, so that's that now. And now let's try to go over it with the vintage photo. We don't need this piece. I'm sorry, little butterfly. All right, so this is what we have now. So if you compare the two, and I think what it might also need is some copper gilding wax. All right, there. What do you think? I think there's more on my fingers than on the wing, but okay. And to balance that, we'll probably need some more gilding wax on some of the other parts. But for now, so I know some of you have ordered some gilding wax in the meantime, so I hope you're having as fun with it as I am. Seriously, I just can't, you can tell I cannot stop using it. So this just has the tiniest bit around the edge. Okay, I'm going to glue these parts down and I will attach these, and then I'm sure I'll be adding a few more things. Okay, I've glued down all the elements here, and I quite like that these wings are actually sticking out a little bit, so that's cool. But this one, of course, I don't want sticking out because we're going to have the spiral here, so this we need to cut off. And I used my new art glitter glue, which I will also link, and I love it. Oh my gosh, I love it so much. But I, of course, I think this happens to a lot of you as well, already broke the pin that's in here. So that's kind of a bummer. I will put it in anyway. Okay, so the next step is to put in these rivet brads. So I will do my best to punch the holes evenly, and I'm taking the smaller one of the two holes here on my crocodile. I don't know if I will manage to do this evenly. I'll do my best. I don't remember where I got these, but I will find out. I'm pretty sure I got these online, but I'm not sure if it was a German store or not. I will do my best to link these as well, because they are fabulous. Okay, I do like that. I do think they need a bit of rose gold though. It's gotta be all coherent, right? Cohesive, I mean. Oh, yes. Yes, look, look, look. How cool. Now it all matches. I need to glue this down a little better. I did, of course, also want to add some metal gears. I will link those for you as well. So I'll play around with those. And I also found I have some metal butterflies here that I got from Action, which is a Dutch chain that we have in a lot of European countries. So maybe I can do something with one of these. I do like this one a lot, actually. So I kind of think both is too much, and I already have gears here, so I really think I want to add this butterfly here instead. I like how that looks. Maybe even like this. But of course it also needs copper accents. Gosh, this is so nice on metal. Wow. Can you see that? I love that. So the butterfly I'm going to attach with my 3-in-1 glue, which I will also link below. It's just because I don't know yet how strong the art glitter glue is. It's probably strong enough, but since this is a cover and I really want to make sure this doesn't come off, I'm going to use what I know is going to work well. I think our cover is done. Okay, we will wait for this to dry, and in the meantime we can do the back cover, which is going to be very easy. So this is the outside back cover, and this is the inside, which we're going to be covering up. I will just glue these two together to start off with. I'm just going to use my glue stick for this. Okay, so I've done that, and now I'm going to stick this on the back of this. It's going to be the inside cover. Also, just using glue stick. I'm currently using this Yoo-hoo, which is not my favorite, but during pandemic times when my favorite shop was closed, I just had to buy this Yoo-hoo stick, and it's okay, it's not so bad. And then I will, oh, I gotta make sure there's no bubbles here. And then I'm just gonna trim around this. I have to be honest here, I do feel the pressure in making a steampunk journal because, you know, the pressure to make it nice, because there are so many amazing steampunk journals out there. So I really feel under pressure. But I'll just do what I can and try to make it my style. And hopefully I will like the result in the end. Okay, so we have this. So of course now we have to also ink around the inside. And of course we also have to use the rose gold on the outside of this to make it match with the front cover. All right, this is nice and sturdy now. I have already put the copper around it. This is the inside cover, and so this will go on the back like this. And it's really nice and thick. And for the front one, I think this should be, yeah, this looks like it's dry. So I will do the same thing. I will put the cardboard on first, and then I will glue this on the back side of this, and then we have that front cover done as well. For this one, I did decide to use my 3-in-1 glue for the cardboard because we have these rivets here on the corners, and I think the corners need to be stuck down really well, and I didn't trust the glue stick to hold well enough, and I'm just holding these corners shut with these clips to make sure that the corners really will hold well. So I will let that dry first. So and once I have my back glued on, I am just inking up the inside edges as well. So that's our front and back covers ready to go. Now it's starting to look like a steampunk journal. So I think this is all that we have time for in this episode, and so in the next part, let's start embellishing some of the insides and also make those look a little bit more steampunky. So I hope to see you in part 2. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. Please subscribe if you want to see more if you haven't yet, and give it a like if you enjoyed this video. It would mean so much to me. Thank you. Bye.